Hello and welcome to Three Ladies on a Couch. My name is Sasha.
I'm Candy.
And I'm Stacy.
And we're so excited to have you with us today. We have a very interesting guest with us. Stacy, would you like to do the honors?
Today we have our very own Stephanie Longbottom, who works in the healthcare field.
Everybody, welcome Stephanie.
Welcome.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So nice to have you with us. Hope the coffee's okay.
Oh, it's good.
So
Okay.
Stephanie, tell us a little bit about yourself and what it is you do.
Well, I work for Fraser Health Authority
Wow.
in an extended care facility
Ooh, extended.
for the food and nutrition department.
And is that going well for you?
I worked there for about 8 years now.
8
but-
years.
Wow.
Of your life. Wow.
8 years is a very long time.
It seems like it sometimes, yes.
Yeah.
Tell us, Stephanie, so tell us about your daily interactions with the residents there.
Well, I actually spent a lot of time with the residents.
8 years of time.
Eight years of time,
Yeah.
almost every day a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of times I spend playing games with them, like bingo, because they love bingo.
Oh, old people do love bingo.
Bingo.
Bingo
love
is a great
bingo.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bingo's
good for
great.
dementia.
Mm-hmm.
It is actually.
yeah.
Yeah. A lot of residents in my building have dementia. Actually, most of them.
Oh no.
So a lot of times they actually forget about where they are and whether their family's with them or not, which usually they're there because they don't have a spouse anymore, or they couldn't live at home by themselves.
It's unfortunate.
That's very nice that you're there for them.
Yeah, it does create a bit of issues though, because a lot of times they'll ask to go home, or when their spouse is coming to pick them up, and we end up lying to them, just because it's easier to help them with their delusion than it is to tell them the truth, because they get a little aggravated and anxious.
Must be very confusing for them.
Yeah, I think it is for sure, because when I first started, I tried to tell them, like your husband's passed away, and they wouldn't believe me, or they'd get upset. So we've learned to just say that their husband's gonna come and see them soon, or come and pick them up.
I hope you don't mind. I had to bring my dog to set today. Couldn't find a dog sitter.
That's okay.
Don't mind
Well,
Bella.
she's annoying sometimes.
It's all right. Everyone loves Bella.
Yeah, she's pretty cute though, so.
So lying to residents, that must create a lot of moral conflict.
It was awkward at first when I first started, just trying to get used to the whole situation. But once you've made a few mistakes interacting with them and realize that they actually get more upset when you tell them the truth, you start to be okay with the small little white lies.
Very interesting.
Are you having any issues with any coworkers, or is everybody really, really nice, or do you have any issues with anybody?
Well, there are coworkers that are a little, some personalities don't always rub the right way, but there is one coworker that gets aggressive and verbally abusive in the facility.
I see.
That must be very hard to work with.
It is actually. It does create a little bit of tension, but
Are there any examples of a time where you had an issue with a coworker? Can you give us an example of something?
well,
Maybe something that's stuck with you over time.
Yeah.
I know it can be very
Yeah.
hard working in those situations.
Actually there was an event. Fraser Health calls them critical incidents, and it was during dinner service, and one of our residents, who actually wasn't on a dysphagia diet, ended up choking on her dinner, and because I'm not trained to deal with situations like that,
Sounds like it'd be a nurse's job
Yeah,
mostly. Maybe a nurse or a doctor's job.
definitely
Yeah.
actually. So I went to the LPN that was at the nurse's station, and I notified him that she was choking. And so he, looked up briefly and told me that no, she was just coughing.
Oh wow.
I think that distinction would be easier to make.
He told you she was coughing?
Yeah.
Oh no.
So he didn't take me seriously, and when I looked back at her, her color in her face clearly showed that she was not being able to breathe.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Awful.
Yeah.
It was,
Well,
I tried not to panic, so I ran down one of the wings in the facility and notified the other LPN on, and she took me seriously. And when when she went to find the suction machine that uses to suck the food out of their throats when they do choke, it wasn't where it should have been.
oh my goodness.
No one had any idea where it was in our building, so they had to run to the next building to grab theirs.
Oh no.
And
That seems like a very lengthy process.
it was. It definitely was. It definitely took longer than it should have.
Was there a good outcome at the end of it all?
No, unfortunately, the resident passed away.
Oh
that's
no.
terrible.
Been awful. But it just goes to show that, you need to be on top of things as you were, and it's a shame that your other coworkers, that happened, and it was a series of bad events.
So what happened to the nurse then that you explained that she was choking and he did not believe you? What happened to his situation then after that?
Well, protocols after that were that everyone involved had to do what Fraser Health calls a debriefing,
Mm-hmm.
and you individually go into a meeting with a representative of Fraser Health,
Mm-hmm.
and they ask you questions and you explain what happened.
Sort of like when there's been a murder committed and you have to go into the room for questioning.
Yes,
Oh,
actually,
very interesting.
that's a very good analogy.
Mm.
And what happened in the end is that Fraser Health deemed the nurse not responsible.
Oh,
Wow.
excuse
Surprising.
me.
Wow.
But
Wow.
you told him.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what happened with the decision process. It was very frustrating for me. But that was the end result, and this nurse still works for Fraser Health.
That's just bizarre. I don't know if that were my grandmother, grandfather, and that happened to them. I certainly wouldn't want that nurse to be working
Absolutely.
with them anymore.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, well, it did go in his permanent file
Mm-hmm.
that this did happen on his watch. So I'm hoping that that was enough that he will take the situation seriously next time.
I hope so too.
Well, thank you for sharing that
Thank you.
story with us.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're welcome.
Can you think of any, maybe someone who goes out of their way? I know you probably know a lot of staff members that have a really positive effect on the environment.
Yes,
or-
actually, it's not all negative. Working for Fraser Health, there are a very few employees that definitely create tension in the workplace, but there are a lot of employees that actually make it a positive atmosphere to work.
Mm-hmm.
There is a Care-Aide and an LPN in my facility that actually go over and above for the residents.
Awesome.
Wow.
That's great to hear.
Yeah,
Need someone.
Do they do anything? Like, can you give us an example of something that they do?
well, on their downtime, so usually around their breaks or just a little bit after their shift, they'll stay and they'll talk and they'll play games or they'll do a jigsaw puzzle. There's only a monthly birthday for everyone, like 1-2 hour span in a month where they celebrate all the birthdays that month. But on the specific birthdays, the LPN brings in a cake for that resident.
Oh,
is
that's
so
lovely.
generous.
Oh, nice.
So
And-
generous.
Yeah, it's super nice. And the Care-Aide, there is this one resident that only feels comfortable and less anxious when she has a doll. And there was a situation where we couldn't find any of her 3 dolls, and
They do go missing sometimes.
yeah, I don't know how it happens, but they do.
Mm-hmm.
And this Carrie went ahead and cleared it with the family and bought her another doll.
Oh, that's
so
lovely.
Goodness.
Right.
She
Yeah.
goes to Toys R Us.
Wow.
I'm not too sure where she bought it.
It's very lovely of
Yeah,
her to
very
go out of
lovely
her
of
way
her.
to do that.
Well, it's been great having you on the show.
Yeah,
Sally.
I
It's
enjoyed it
been
so
really
much.
great.
Yeah.
Until next time.
Thank you for visiting us, the 3 Ladies on a Couch. We do have a second segment coming up with Stephanie in the future, so make sure that you tune in for that.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Thank you and have a
Thank
great
you.
day.